Welcome to the dance of giving and receiving. Please go ahead and get settled in your chairs. Just feeling the support underneath you. Just feeling the rise and fall of your inhale and exhale. And just settle your body in whatever way feels most comfortable in this moment. There's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to solve. Just an invitation for you to notice. So many of us were taught that loving meant giving. Being strong, being dependable, being the one that holds things together. And sometimes we became so practiced at caring for others that it was really hard to get in touch with our own needs and to tap into what it feels like to let someone else care for us. So today we're not asking whether you're giving enough. We're just being curious about the flow of giving and receiving. So just continue being with your breath, the reminder, the miracle that we are here, we are alive. And as you breathe, just bring your attention to your heart center. Just notice what your heart is feeling in this moment. Letting yourself be with whatever it is that you're experiencing. All the feelings that are there in your heart. Now I invite you to bring to mind someone you care about with whom there's an imbalance in the relationship in terms of giving and receiving. It can be a partner, a friend, a family member, a colleague, someone you care about, but there's not quite an equality in terms of giving and receiving. And notice what happens in your body as you think about this relationship. Whether there's warmth, tension, tenderness, fatigue, love, resentment, confusion. All of it belongs, whatever it is that's coming up for you about this person. If you're willing, please gently ask yourself, how do I tend to show up here with this person? How often am I the listener? The caretaker, the problem solver? How often am I the one who anticipates needs before they're spoken? As you notice this, try not to get caught up in judgment. These patterns often began as wisdom, as survival, as love expressed the best way that we knew how. Now, if you're willing, please turn your attention toward what it's like for you when you receive. What happens when someone offers you help? When someone offers you care or support? Do you let it in easily? Or does it feel slightly uncomfortable, unfamiliar, vulnerable? For some people, receiving may even feel unsafe. Perhaps being needed may feel more familiar than being held. Now I invite you to ask yourself, what might greater balance look like in this relationship? A little more honesty, a little more reciprocity, a little more room for both you and the other person to matter. Perhaps it looks like asking for help more often, allowing this person to show up for you, to listen more to you. Allowing them to show up for you, to let there be more silence. Perhaps saying no to overextending yourself. As we wind down this meditation, just let yourself sit with what it would feel like if there were more flow in terms of giving and receiving in this particular relationship. And as you feel ready, just bring your attention back to the room that's around you. Notice one sound, one sensation in your body, the support of the ground beneath you. And just carrying with you the thought that you really deserve to be held too. We'd love to hear from you either in chat or out loud. Just a feeling word. What's it like to have received what I was talking about in terms of balancing a particular relationship more? Feel as challenging. As a nurse, you are used to giving. Yeah. I have a sense that every single one of us here is much better at giving than receiving. Seeing nods. Yeah. I started exploring this whole question of giving and receiving a long time ago when I first started my independent practice. I think I was reading a book on givers and takers, and it was really illuminating to me how there are a lot of people out there who are takers, and they'll find us givers.
Yeah, my mind went to mainly relationships that have consisted of that person taking, and objectifying me. And I mostly have, when I discern that, I usually cut off the relationship. So this was a difficult exercise for me because I realized I don't have a whole lot of relationships that are in that middle zone where I feel like there's room or need for improvement. Because the unhealthy ones, I cut them off because they're being abusive, harmful. And the healthy ones, I didn't feel like they needed improvement. Like they're already healthy. But there are very few of those. But I'm grateful for the ones that do exist.
So I'm really glad that you can just so, it almost seems automatic the way you notice, okay, this is not healthy for me. I'm just going to cut this off.
Sometimes it takes me a while.
Yeah.
That was a story I told in 5 seconds there.
Okay. So thank you. Just inspiring me to, like, it's actually very hard for me to cut off relationships. For me, if a relationship feels unhealthy, I just yeah, I'll do things to try to bring it into more balance. There's so something that I learned about people, like some people actually they want to be better listeners, they want to be more caring, but they don't know how to ask questions. So
Mhm.
I recall like being in conversations where this person will just talk and talk, and I'm waiting for them to ask me something. They don't ask me anything. They'll just talk some more. And then I realized that when they pause for a brief moment, they're actually inviting me to talk. That's their way of inviting me to talk. And if I'm waiting for a question, it's not going to come. But with people like that, it's more tiring for me because I just have to jump in and say what I want to say. I'm just looking at chat right now. Christina said, leaves me with questions. And of course, my question is, what questions do you have? And then Magdalena, good to have you here. Challenging and heartwarming. Christina, what questions came up for you?
I guess my struggle is I always wonder if I'm giving enough. I find myself so not exactly drained, but like I don't feel drained, but I feel maybe I do feel drained and I don't want to say it. I don't know. But after the work that we do as therapists, I'm pretty tired and I don't have as much to give as I would like to. And that sometimes feels sad to me, like that I don't have more energy to engage outside of my work. Um, the kind of energy I would like to have to be more, yeah, yeah, that's what came up for me.
Did you see all the nods?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's good to feel
yeah,
it.
I feel a certain wistfulness listening to you say that because I
Yeah.
remember when I had a very full practice how I would just give my best to my
Yeah.
clients, and then at the end of the day, I didn't have very much to give to the people I really cared about in my life. So I want to just thank all of you for being with me today. And next week, the topic is when something feels off in a relationship. We're talking about people who really, well, we don't feel quite safe around them, and just going to explore that topic. I'm just looking at the dogs on the screen. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to everyone on YouTube for joining today. And look forward to seeing you next week.